Introduction: Why improving your English accent matters. Accent is not just about how you sound, it is a bridge to better communication. An English accent can affect how clearly you are understood by others, how confident you feel when speaking, and how well you can connect with native speakers. For many non-native English speakers, accent improvement is about reducing misunderstandings and speaking more fluently. It's about refining pronunciation so that your words resonate clearly and naturally with those around you. However, improving your English accent does not mean losing your unique identity or eliminating your native accent. It's more about fine-tuning your pronunciation, stress, and intonation to fit the pattern of the specific English accent you want to adopt. This can increase your chances of success in personal, academic, and professional settings. Types of English accents. English, being a global language, has a rich tapestry of accents depending on the region or country. The most common English accents learners aim to master are General American, GA, the most widely spoken and understood accent in the United States. It is often used in media, politics, and public speaking. British Received Pronunciation, RP, often considered the standard British accent. RP is prestigious, especially in formal and educational settings in the UK. Australian English, recognizable for its unique vowel pronunciations and rising intonation. Australian English is spoken across Australia and can sometimes be challenging for non-native speakers. Your choice of accent will depend on your personal goals, professional needs, and the communities you engage with. Setting realistic goals. Improving your accent is a long-term process. Expecting instant changes or perfect pronunciation can lead to frustration. Your goal should be to make steady, noticeable improvements over time. Breaking down your learning into manageable steps, focusing on one sound, word, or intonation pattern at a time, can lead to gradual but effective improvement. Here are some realistic goals you can set. Improve the clarity of your speech by mastering the pronunciation of 10 common problematic sounds in English, e.g., th, r, and certain vowels. Practice correct intonation and stress for common sentences. Improving conversational fluency. Record yourself daily and analyze the difference in pronunciation after 3 months. Understanding the mechanics of accents, phonetics, and phonology. Accents are all about the sound system of a language, known as phonetics, and the pattern of sounds, or phonology. Every language has its own set of phonetic rules that dictate how words are pronounced, where the stress falls in a sentence, and how intonation rises or falls. In English, mastering the basics of phonetics is key to improving your accent. You don't need to become a linguistic expert, but understanding the role of vowels, consonants, and syllable stress in shaping how words sound is fundamental. Vowel and consonant differences. Vowels in English can vary dramatically between accents. Take, for example, the difference between an American pronunciation of cat, short, sharp, and a British RP pronunciation, a more open. Consonants can vary too. For instance, the R sound is pronounced strongly in American English but is often softer or omitted in British RP, especially at the end of words, e.g., car versus CAH. Stress, rhythm, and intonation. English is a stress-timed language, meaning that some syllables are stressed more than others. Knowing where to place the stress is key to sounding natural. For example, in the word photograph, the stress is on the first syllable, while in photographic, the stress shifts to the third syllable. In addition to stress, intonation, the rise and fall of your voice, plays a huge role in shaping how your accent sounds. A rising intonation is often used in questions, while falling intonation is used in statements. Mastering these patterns will help you sound more native. Choosing your target accent, understanding the major English accents. There are several global English accents, and each offers unique pronunciation patterns. Whether you want to adopt an American, British, or Australian accent, the key is to choose one and focus on mastering its characteristics. American English, General American. The standard American accent is characterized by rhotic pronunciation, pronouncing the R sound in all positions, and vowel shifts, like the in cat, being more open. It's a clear and widely understood accent. British English, RP and others, received pronunciation, RP, is often seen as the standard British accent. It features non-rhotic pronunciation. The R is not pronounced unless followed by a vowel, and unique vowel shifts like the long sound in bath. Australian English. This accent is known for its distinctive vowel sounds, such as a more open in words like day, and its use of a rising intonation even in statements, giving it a sing-song quality. How to pick an accent that suits you. Choosing the right accent for you depends on several factors. Geographical influence. If you're moving to the US, an American accent might be more practical. If you plan to work in the UK, a British accent might be ideal. Cultural preferences. Some people are more drawn to specific cultures and find the accent appealing due to their interest in the media, literature, or traditions of that country. Ease of learning. Depending on your native language, certain accents might be easier to adopt. For example, if your language has strong R sounds, the American accent might feel more natural. Phonetic breakdown. Mastering sounds, vowels. Vowel pronunciation is one of the most noticeable differences between accents. Here's how you can practice. Monophthongs. These are single, stable vowel sounds, like the I in bit or the in cat. In different accents, these vowels can be pronounced with a variety of tongue and mouth positions. Practice different vowel placements with audio guides or vowel charts. Diphthongs. These are vowels that start in one position and glide into another, like the ai in buy or the oi in boy. Diphthongs vary widely between accents, so focusing on accent-specific pronunciation is essential. For example, in British English, go has a more rounded sound compared to American English. Consonants, th sounds, theta. The English th sound can be tough for non-native speakers. To produce it, the tongue should touch the teeth lightly. Many accents replace this with a, t, or d sound, common in non-native accents, so focus on ensuring your th is correctly articulated. Are sounds, in American English. The r sound is pronounced strongly no matter where it appears in a word. In British RP, The R is typically silent unless it's followed by a vowel. Understanding this distinction can help you sound more authentic in your chosen accent. Diphthongs. Diphthongs require careful listening and practice. To pronounce them correctly, you need to be aware of how your mouth shifts from one vowel sound to another. For example, in Australian English, the word go might sound like guy-o, reflecting a wider range of diphthong movement. Nasals and liquids, sounds like m, n, ing are produced with the airflow through the nose, while l, r involve a liquid-like flow of air. These sounds are important in accent work because some accents overemphasize or soften them. For instance, some American accents have a more prominent L sound, while some British accents soften it. Common sound shifts between accents. Certain sound shifts are common between English accents. The T sound can be pronounced sharply, British, or as a soft flap, American. The short in dance is pronounced as a long vowel in British RP but short in American English. By identifying these common shifts, you can practice transforming words from one accent into another. The time it takes to improve your English accent depends on several factors, including your current language skills, the specific accent you're aiming for, the amount of practice you put in, and your natural ability to pick up new sounds. However, with consistent effort, you can expect noticeable improvement within 3 to 6 months. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Factors that influence the time to improve your accent. 1. Your starting point, beginner. If you're just starting to learn English or have a strong accent influenced by your native language, it might take longer to make significant changes, usually 6 months to a year of focused practice. Intermediate. If you're already fluent in English but have a noticeable accent, you might start seeing changes within 3 to 6 months of regular practice. Advanced. If you're already familiar with the nuances of the accent you want to adopt, you may improve in just a few months by fine-tuning your pronunciation. 2. Your native language. Some sounds in English might not exist in your native language, making them more difficult to pronounce. For example, native languages with fewer vowel sounds, e.g., Japanese, Spanish, may make English vowel sounds harder to master, which can lengthen the process. Languages with different stress or intonation patterns, like Mandarin, may require more time to adjust to the stress-timed nature of English. 3. Frequency and quality of practice. Consistent, daily practice. Practicing for 15 to 30 minutes a day with focused exercises, like pronunciation drills, listening and repeating native speech, or using accent training apps, can speed up progress. Inconsistent practice. If you only practice occasionally, progress may be slower and harder to maintain. 4. Accent complexity. Some English accents are more complex and require more time to master due to their nuances in vowel shifts, consonant pronunciation, or rhythm. For instance, mastering a British RP accent might require more effort than a general American accent due to its subtle vowel distinctions and non-rhotic features. 5. Professional help versus self-study. With a coach or teacher, working with a speech coach or accent reduction specialist can cut down on the time needed to improve. Coaches can provide immediate feedback and customized exercises, speeding up the process. Self-study. Using apps, YouTube tutorials, or practicing on your own can still lead to success but might take longer without professional guidance. 6. Motivation and persistence. A strong motivation to improve your accent, for career reasons, personal goals, or social acceptance, will help you stay focused and persistent. The more motivated you are, the faster you will likely improve. Timeline expectations based on commitment. Short term, 1 to 3 months, you'll become more aware of specific sounds, improve individual vowel and consonant pronunciations, and develop some familiarity with stress and intonation patterns. For instance, you might start pronouncing tricky sounds like th correctly or reduce the influence of your native accent on certain words. Medium term, 3 to 6 months. You'll start noticing a more natural rhythm in your speech, improved intonation, and better consistency across a wider range of sounds. Conversations will flow more smoothly, and others may start noticing the change in your accent. Long term, 6 to 12 months or more, you'll have greater mastery of the accent, with smoother transitions between sounds and more natural stress and intonation patterns. Your accent will likely be more subtle and not interfere with your communication, though it may not be completely indistinguishable from a native speaker's. Tips for accelerating your progress: immerse yourself in the accent, listen to native speakers as much as possible, watch TV shows, movies, podcasts, and music in the accent you want to adopt. Use accent-specific apps. Apps like Elsa Speak or Italki can give you feedback and help you practice specific sounds. Speech shadowing, mimic native speakers in real time by repeating what they say as soon as they say it. This improves pronunciation and rhythm. Record yourself. Frequently record your speech and compare it to native speakers. Identifying areas for improvement. Seek feedback. Ask native speakers or a coach to give you constructive feedback. In summary, with consistent effort, most people can see noticeable improvements in their English accent within 3 to 6 months. However, for more advanced and complete mastery, especially for complex accents, it may take 6 months to a year or more. The key is regular, focused practice combined with listening and mimicking native speakers. Sounding natural in English is not just about pronouncing individual words correctly, it's about capturing the rhythm, stress, and flow of the language. Native speakers often use contractions, linking, intonation patterns, and stress certain syllables or words to create a smooth, natural sound. Here's a guide to help you sound more natural when speaking English. 1. Master rhythm and intonation. English is a stress-timed language. In English, some syllables are stressed while others are unstressed, which creates a unique rhythm. The length of time between stressed syllables tends to be roughly the same, even if the number of unstressed syllables varies. To sound more natural, practice word stress. Make sure you emphasize the correct syllables in words. For example, photo versus photograph versus photographic. Incorrect stress can make you sound unnatural. Practice sentence stress. In a sentence, not all words are equally important. Content words, nouns, verbs, adjectives, are usually stressed, while function words, prepositions, articles, auxiliary verbs, are usually unstressed. For example, in "she's going to the store," going and store are stressed. Intonation, rise and fall of the voice. Natural English has varying pitch patterns, and learning when your voice should rise or fall is key to sounding natural. Rising intonation. Questions often have a rising pitch, especially yes, no questions, e.g., "Are you coming?" Falling intonation. Statements or WH questions often end with a falling pitch, e.g., "What are you doing?" Tip: listen to native speakers and imitate their intonation. Record yourself and compare the pitch movements to theirs. 2. Use contractions and reduced forms. Native speakers often shorten phrases by using contractions or reduced forms of words. Contractions. These are used frequently in everyday conversation. For example, "I am" becomes "I'm," "they have" becomes "they've," "he will" becomes "he'll." Reduced forms. Many words get squished in natural speech. Some common examples include: "want to" becomes "wanna," "going to" becomes "gonna," "got to" becomes "gotta." Practice using contractions and reduced forms to match how native speakers communicate in casual settings. 3. Linking sounds together. In natural English, words often connect or link together, especially in fast speech. Mastering this will help you sound more fluent and less robotic. Consonant to vowel linking. When a word ends in a consonant sound and the next word starts with a vowel sound, the two words connect. For example, "take it" sounds like "take-ite," "pick up" sounds like "pick-up." Vowel to vowel linking. When one word ends in a vowel sound and the next starts with a vowel, native speakers often add a slight glide, like a W or Y sound, to link them smoothly. "I am" sounds like "I am," "go out" sounds like "go W out." Dropping or weakening sounds. In fast speech, some sounds may be dropped or become less pronounced. "Give me" becomes "gimme," "what do you" becomes "wadaya." 4. Practice. Fluency. Speak in phrases, not individual words. Native speakers don't pronounce each word individually. Instead, they speak in chunks or thought groups. To sound natural, group words into phrases. Instead of pausing between every word, pause between thought groups or phrases. For example, unnatural: "I am going to store." Natural: "I'm going to the store." Tip: practice reading sentences aloud in one smooth phrase rather than word by word. This will help you develop fluency and a more natural flow. 5. Avoid overpronouncing every word. While it's important to speak clearly, overpronunciation can make your speech sound stiff and unnatural. Native speakers tend to relax certain sounds, particularly in casual conversations. For example, "Can you help me?" might sound like "Can you help me?" "I'm going to the store" could sound like "I'm goin' to the store." Focus on reducing some of the less important syllables and using contractions to keep a natural pace. 6. Learn and use common idioms and expressions. Native speakers use idioms, slang, and expressions that are often difficult for non-native speakers. Learning some of these can help you sound more natural in conversations. Examples of idioms: piece of cake, something easy, break the ice, start a conversation. Examples of casual expressions: instead of "How are you?" You might say "What's up?" or "How's it going?" Using idiomatic language appropriately will make you sound more fluent and comfortable in informal settings. 7. Work on pronunciation of common sounds. Certain sounds are crucial to sounding natural in English. Here are some key ones to practice. TH sound, theta. Many non-native speakers replace the TH sound with an S or D, but this sound is important in English. Practice words like think and this with the correct tongue placement. Flap, T sound, in American English. The T between two vowels often sounds like a quick D, for example, water sounds like water, better sounds like better. Vowel sounds. English has many vowel sounds that vary across accents. Focus on mastering the common vowel sounds in your target accent. For example, the sound in cat versus car differs between American and British accents. 8. Engage in conversations with native speakers. The best way to sound natural is by interacting with native speakers. You'll not only improve your pronunciation but also learn how to respond naturally in different contexts. Language exchange platforms. Apps like Tandem or HelloTalk allow you to practice speaking with native speakers, voice and video calls. When speaking with others, pay attention to how they form sentences, their intonation, and how they link words together. Imitate them as closely as possible. 9. Record yourself and get feedback. Recording your voice can be incredibly helpful for noticing areas where you might sound unnatural. Compare with native speakers. Listen to recordings of native speakers, then record yourself saying the same sentences. Compare the pronunciation, rhythm, and flow. Get feedback. Ask native speakers or language tutors to give you feedback on your accent, pronunciation, and overall fluency. Apps like Elsa Speak can also provide detailed feedback on your pronunciation. 10. Embrace confidence and relaxation. Lastly, to sound natural, you need to speak with confidence. If you're overly focused on getting every sound perfect, you might come across as stiff or hesitant. Relax, and don't be afraid of making small mistakes. Fluency often involves being able to express yourself freely rather than perfectly. Relax your body and face. Tension can affect how you sound. Loosen your jaw and face muscles to allow for smoother, more natural speech. Confidence in communication. Sounding natural is more about comfort than perfection. When you're comfortable speaking, you'll sound more like a native speaker naturally. By focusing on the rhythm of English, using contractions, linking words, and practicing regularly with native speakers, you'll gradually start sounding more natural. Consistency and immersion are key, and over time, you'll gain the ability to speak fluently and effortlessly. Here are some key tips to improve your accent in English, regardless of whether you're aiming for a specific accent like American, British, or Australian. 1. Choose your target accent. The first step in accent training is deciding which accent you want to adopt. English has many accents, including American, British, RP, Australian, Irish, Canadian, and South African. Each has its unique sounds, intonation, and rhythm. Once you've chosen your target accent, you can focus on the specific sounds and features of that accent, Tip: pick one accent and stick to it consistently, as mixing accents can lead to confusion and make your speech sound less natural. 2. Listen actively. Immerse yourself in the accent by listening to native speakers as much as possible. Watching TV shows, movies, and listening to podcasts in your target accent will help you pick up the natural rhythm and intonation. Tips: American accent. Watch shows like Friends, How I Met Your Mother, or The Office. British (RP) accent. Watch BBC News, The Crown, or Downton Abbey. Australian accent. Watch Home and Away or Neighbours. 3. Mimic and imitate. Speech shadowing is a powerful technique for improving your accent. Listen to a sentence spoken in your target accent, then immediately repeat it, trying to mimic the rhythm, pitch, and pronunciation as closely as possible. Tips: use short clips or audio recordings to focus on a few sentences at a time. Pay attention to where native speakers place stress and how they link words together. 4. Master the sounds of your target accent. Different accents have distinct vowel and consonant sounds. Here are some key features of common English accents. American accent. Pronounce the R sound strongly in all positions. Rhotic accent. For example, in words like car and water, you should pronounce the R. Use the flat sound in words like cat and map. The T between vowels often becomes a D sound, so butter sounds like buttier. British (RP) accent. The R sound is often silent when it appears at the end of a word, non-rhotic. For example, car is pronounced like CAH. Short sounds, as in bath or dance, are pronounced with a long sound, bath or dance. Vowel sounds are often more rounded, and you'll hear clear distinctions between long and short vowels. Australian accent. Vowel sounds are often broader, especially diphthongs. For example, go might sound more like guy-o. The R is generally silent unless followed by a vowel. Tip: focus on the specific sounds that are different from your native language, and practice them in isolation before integrating them into full sentences. 5. Practice vowel and consonant sounds. Each accent has distinct vowel and consonant pronunciations. Focus on perfecting these. TH sound. Non-native speakers often struggle with the TH sounds, theta, as in think, and as in this. Make sure your tongue touches the tip of your upper teeth when making these sounds. Don't replace TH with S or D. Vowel length. English has many long and short vowel sounds. Practice distinguishing between them, such as in ship versus sheep or bit versus beat. Schwa sound. The schwa is the most common sound in English. It's an unstressed, neutral sound often found in words like sofa or in the second syllable of teacher. Learning to use the schwa naturally will make your speech sound more fluent. 6. Focus on intonation and stress. Every language has a unique melody or intonation pattern, and this is true for English accents as well. Pay attention to where native speakers raise and lower their pitch. In English, statements often end with a falling intonation. I'm going to the store. Yes, no questions usually end with a rising intonation. Are you coming? Additionally, English is a stress-timed language, meaning that certain syllables in a sentence are stressed while others are unstressed. Learning how to stress the right syllables and words will make your speech sound more natural. Tip: practice stressing content words, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and lightly touching function words, articles, prepositions, etc. 7. Use contractions and linking. Native speakers frequently use contractions and link words together, which makes their speech sound faster and more fluid. Contractions: use contractions like I'm for I am or she'll for she will. Linking words: words often flow together in natural speech. For example, can I becomes can I, and do you becomes dia. Tip: practice reading aloud using contractions and linked words. Try to minimize pauses between words to create smoother sentences. 8. Record yourself. Recording yourself speaking in your target accent is one of the best ways to track your progress. Listen back to identify where you might be mispronouncing sounds, where your rhythm is off, or where your intonation doesn't match native speakers. Tip: compare your recordings to those of native speakers. Try imitating the rhythm, stress, and intonation patterns as closely as possible. 9. Use accent training apps. Several apps and online resources can provide structured practice to improve your accent. Elsa Speak helps with pronunciation and gives real-time feedback on specific sounds. Forvo provides native speaker pronunciations of words and phrases. Italki connects you with native speakers for accent practice in real conversations. Tip: dedicate at least 15 to 30 minutes a day to using these tools for consistent improvement. 10. Get feedback from native speakers. Engaging in real conversations with native speakers is one of the most effective ways to refine your accent. Native speakers can give you immediate feedback on your pronunciation and suggest ways to sound more natural. Tip: use platforms like HelloTalk or Tandem to connect with native speakers, or consider taking lessons from a native English tutor. 11. Practice daily and be patient. Improving your accent takes time, consistency, and patience. Daily practice, even if it's just for 15 to 20 minutes, will bring gradual improvements. Don't get discouraged if progress seems slow. It's normal for accent development to take months or even a year or more, depending on your starting point and the complexity of the accent. Additional accent tips for specific English accents. American accent tips. Master the flap T. In American English, the T sound between vowels often turns into a soft D sound. For example, water sounds like water. Pronounce the R sound. American English is rhotic, meaning the R sound is pronounced clearly in all positions, like in words such as car or bird. Open vowels. American English often uses a broader range of open vowels, so focus on opening your mouth wider, especially for vowels like, in words like cat or hat. British RP accent tips. Silent R. In received pronunciation, RP, the R at the end of words is silent unless followed by a vowel. For example, car becomes CAH. T sound. Unlike American English, the T is pronounced crisply in British accents. Better is pronounced with a clear T, like better, round your vowels. British RP tends to have rounded vowels. Especially in words like thought or caught, which are pronounced with a rounded sound. Australian accent tips, diphthongs. Australian English has some unique diphthongs, vowel combinations. For example, mate might sound like might and no might sound like now. Non-rhotic, like British RP, Australian English is non-rhotic, meaning the R is often silent unless followed by a vowel. Vowel reduction. Australians often reduce vowels in unstressed syllables, making words like today sound more like today. By focusing on these accent-specific techniques and following the tips above, you'll be able to improve your English accent and sound more natural and confident in your chosen accent. Practicing your English accent daily is key to seeing significant improvement. Consistency is more important than long practice sessions, so aim for 15 to 30 minutes a day to build strong habits. Here's a step-by-step guide on how you can structure your daily practice to effectively improve your accent. 1. Set clear goals. Start by defining specific goals for your accent practice. These might include mastering difficult sounds, e.g., the TH sound or American R, improving intonation and stress patterns. Reducing your native accent's influence, perfecting vowel and consonant sounds for your target accent, e.g., British RP, American, Australian. Each practice session can focus on one or two of these goals. 2. Warm up your mouth and voice. Before diving into accent-specific practice, warm up your mouth and voice. This helps with articulation and fluency. You can stretch your lips by smiling wide and then relaxing. Loosen your tongue with quick, light movements. Move it side to side, or flick it against the roof of your mouth. Hum softly to warm up your vocal cords, ensuring your voice is relaxed and ready for speaking. Time: 2 to 3 minutes. 3. Practice target sounds. Focus on one or two challenging sounds in your target accent each day. For example, American accent. Practice rhotic R sounds in words like car, bird, teacher, or the flap T in words like water, butter. British RP accent. Focus on pronouncing the T sound clearly in better, or mastering the long sound in bath, dance. Australian accent. Practice diphthongs in words like mate, go, or reducing vowels in words like today. Listen to native speakers. Use resources like YouTube, Forvo, or accent training apps to hear native speakers pronounce words with your target sounds. Mimic the sounds. Repeat the sounds several times, focusing on getting your mouth, tongue, and lips in the correct position. Record yourself to ensure accuracy. Word practice. Incorporate these sounds into words, paying attention to how they blend with other sounds. Time: 5 to 10 minutes. For sentence and phrase drills, move on to practicing sentences and phrases that feature your target sounds or mimic the natural rhythm and intonation of your chosen accent. Use speech shadowing. Listen to native speakers and repeat exactly what they say, mimicking their pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. Choose short clips from movies, interviews, or news segments. Focus on linking. Practice linking words naturally. For example, say "Can I help you?" as "Can I help ya?" Use sentence stress, emphasize content words, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and de-emphasize function words, prepositions, articles. Tip: try using apps like Elsa Speak or Youglish to practice common phrases in your target accent and get feedback. Time: 5 to 10 minutes. 5. Reading aloud. Read aloud every day using materials that match your level and accent goals, textbooks or articles. Choose a text with vocabulary at your level and read it aloud, focusing on the rhythm, intonation, and pronunciation of each word. Dialogues or scripts. If you want to work on conversational English, read dialogues from movie scripts, plays, or TV shows. This can help you practice the natural flow of sentences and casual conversation. Children's books. If you're just starting, children's books can provide clear, simple sentences to help with basic pronunciation. Tip: record yourself while reading aloud, and compare it to native speaker recordings, e.g., audiobooks, YouTube videos. Focus on matching their flow, stress, and intonation. Time: 5 to 10 minutes. 6. Engage in conversations. Speaking with native speakers or language partners is one of the best ways to improve your accent. Use platforms like Tandem or HelloTalk. These apps connect you with native speakers for language exchange and provide daily conversation practice. Italki offers one-on-one lessons with native speakers who can give you specific feedback on your accent. Practice tip: during conversations, focus on using contractions and connected speech, e.g., I'm gonna instead of I am going to. Applying what you've practiced in terms of intonation, rhythm, and stress, asking for feedback on your accent and identifying areas for improvement. Time: 10 to 15 minutes, if possible. Daily. 7. Use accent training apps. There are several apps designed specifically to help you improve your accent. Elsa Speak gives you feedback on your pronunciation, helping you master tricky sounds and phrases. Forvo lets you hear native speakers pronounce individual words, which you can imitate and practice. Speechling allows you to record your voice and get feedback from coaches on your pronunciation. Tip: use these apps for 5 to 10 minutes daily to reinforce your accent training with immediate feedback. 8. Imitate native speakers. Pick a native speaker whose accent you admire and imitate them. You can choose a famous actor, news anchor, or YouTuber, depending on the accent you want to adopt. Watch videos of them speaking and try to copy their tone, pitch, and rhythm. Speech shadowing. Repeat what they say as soon as they say it. Phrase mimicking. Copy not just their words, but how they say them. Pay attention to their stress patterns, intonation, and how they link words. Time: 5 to 10 minutes. 9. Record yourself regularly. Recording your progress is essential for self-assessment. Choose a passage or a set of phrases that you will record regularly. Record yourself speaking in your target accent. Compare the recordings over time to notice improvements or areas that still need work. Tip: use these recordings to evaluate how natural your speech sounds. Share them with a native speaker or coach for feedback. Time: 3 to 5 minutes. 10. Review and correct. At the end of each practice session, listen to your recordings and identify areas that need improvement, e.g., a specific vowel sound or intonation pattern. write down 2 to 3 things you will work on the next day. This ensures that you focus on continuous improvement. Time: 3 to 5 minutes. Example: daily practice routine: 30 minutes. Warm-up: 2 minutes of mouth and voice exercises. Target sounds practice: 8 minutes focusing on specific difficult sounds, e.g., the th sound, R sound, or vowel shifts. Sentence drills: 8 minutes of shadowing native speakers and practicing common sentences and phrases. Reading aloud: 5 minutes reading a text or dialogue aloud, focusing on accent features. Conversation practice: 5 to 10 minutes speaking with a language partner or using an accent app to practice in context. Review: 2 minutes listening to your recordings and setting goals for the next day. Additional tips for daily practice: use downtime. Practice during your commute, while cooking, or in the shower by listening to native speakers or repeating sentences. Mix it up, vary your practice materials, podcasts, YouTube videos, apps, books, to keep things interesting and expose yourself to different contexts. Track progress. Keep a journal of what you practiced each day and note any improvements or challenges. This helps you stay motivated and focused on continuous improvement. By incorporating these daily practices into your routine, you'll steadily improve your accent and sound more natural when speaking English. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you learned something new today. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell notification so that you never miss on new updates. Have a nice day.